Let me tell you why. First of all,
you went for it and it's yours?
First of all, let me tell you why they're going to hate on him. Because in their eyes, he's too perfect. Yeah. My point to you is that I love him. I love him. He's a great dude, and he's a great player.
Exactly.
And by the way, he's a great leader. Mm-hmm. Yeah. People, let me tell you something. Who don't want to play with Steph? I want y'all to watch when the Golden State Warriors, and give Steve Kerr a lot of credit because they play selfless basketball for the most part. It ain't just Draymond. Draymond is just the most gifted at it. Mm-hmm. But it's not just Draymond. You could be a shooter. Even the shooters defer to Clay. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, defer to Steph. Yeah. I mean, they'll sit up there. If they open and Steph's open, Steph getting the ball. Yep. It's automatic. It's instinctual. And no one has a problem with it. Mm-hmm. They don't have a problem with being deferential. They don't have a problem with giving them the credit. He's loved by everybody. He shows up to perform. He doesn't cheat the game. He doesn't get him any trouble. He's got a great family. Yeah. The bottom line is that, listen, the dude is blessed. He's not only blessed as the greatest shooter that we've ever seen, but he's been blessed with the proper surroundings where he's the great person. And you got some people that hate on him because they can't be him.
The long-awaited coverage of Damian Lillard on his new team. Dame has been requesting a trade for over 2 years now, and he finally got his wish. And now we'll see how Lillard handles matching up against possibly the greatest point guard of all time, his rival Stephen Curry. Right when the game started, Lillard quickly started to heat up, but Curry's been no joke all year. He's leading the early MVP race and he's averaging a career high in points this season. While Curry's been soaking up the spotlight, Anthony Edwards has been great by receiving less coverage. Curry may be leading the league in scoring, but Edwards isn't far behind with his nearly 29 points per game season. But Lillard was out there trying to prove a point. He was taking it right at Steph. It didn't matter if it was Steph or if he was going at CP3, he was just going at everybody. This primetime game was living up to the hype, and it came down to the final moments. The Warriors had one last chance to sneak in the win in Minnesota. But after failing to score, Lillard gets the ball back and Curry has to foul, and he ends up fouling out, and Damian Lillard is absolutely hyped. You rarely see this much emotion out of him. After hitting both free throws to put Minnesota up 1, the Warriors had 20 seconds left to try to win the game without Steph. And Chris Paul is the one with the ball, and he decides to ISO Lillard, and he nearly hits the shot, but the Timberwolves will end up winning this great game. Lillard finishes the game with 48 points, while Steph Curry ends up with 42 points. After the whole Blazers saga last year, where the Blazers were blatantly tanking, Lillard looks to create a new era with the Wolves. Speaking of new eras, LeBron James shocked the world by leaving the Lakers to team up with Kawhi and DeRozan on the Clippers. And tonight we watch the Lakers revenge game, LA versus LA on Saturday night primetime. With no LeBron, Anthony Davis was expected to play like his 2017 self back when he was on New Orleans, but that has not been the case. The Lakers have only won 7 out of their first 20 games, and a big part is due to AD's disappointing start, which really seems to be because he isn't giving 100% effort. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for the Clippers, but it's clear LeBron and Kawhi are going to be a major problem for the rest of the league. Just so much IQ and playoff experience between two players, adding in the fact the Clippers are already a deep team, leaves many analysts believing they may be the favorite to win the championship this year. Unsurprisingly, the Clippers end up taking home the win. Kawhi finishes with 23 points, while Anthony Davis gets 20 points and 14 rebounds, and LeBron gets 25 points and a triple-double. Safe to say, even with LeBron leaving the Lakers, he is still the king of LA. In Toronto, there is a new era as well. They drafted Ty Wallace with the 2nd overall pick, and even the biggest Raptors fans couldn't have predicted this start. The Raptors are at a surprisingly good 15-9 record, being led by Siakam and Wallace. Ty Wallace leads the early Rookie of the Year race with 16 points and 6 assists a game. On the other side of the coin, the Heat have been surprisingly awful. It's true that Miami usually starts off slow, but I mean, look at this roster. The Heat are starting absolute bums, and they are forced to start Tyler Hero, so now their 6-man spot has no firepower, and it's just an absolute mess in Miami. The Heat struggles continue as they lose to the Raptors 106-93. Ty Wallace leads the way with 22 points and 9 rebounds, while Hero puts up an inefficient 29-point performance. And with the loss, Miami falls to a disappointing 10-15. The two teams of the future go up against each other in Oklahoma City. The Thunder have been amazing to start the year, being a top 3 seed in the West and having a 20-9 record. The Spurs, on the other hand, have started slow, only having an 8-17 record. The two young stars were going back and forth. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would get the upper hand on Wemby, but then Wembanyama would come back and score points of his own. But the surprise tonight was the emergence of Paul George. He's been quiet all year, but against his former team, he decided to ball out. Shocking to everybody who paid attention to the NBA, the Spurs dominate the Thunder in OKC. San Antonio were massive underdogs going into the game, but with Paul George dominating the way he did, supported by Wembanyama and the rookie Jalen Anthony Thompson, the Spurs put the league on notice to their potential. Adonis Poe continues his Bust of the Year campaign. Some people still swear it's because of management, but it's hard to say that when other rookie wing, True Richmond, is playing at such a higher level than Adonis on the same team. It's too early to jump the gun, but Poe needs to start seriously turning it around and fast, or he might end up in the G League. The final score ended up being a 121-103 win for San Antonio. This is a game the Thunder want to forget, while hopefully the Spurs use this momentum to tack on more wins in the coming weeks. Now, looking at some of the best performances around the league, Jordan Poole lights up the Pistons in their own arena. The 7-win Wizards team has been a fun team to watch due to their borderline stars making flashy plays, and tonight was no exception, as Jordan Poole scores 39 points and makes 7 threes to lead Washington to a 110-102 win. On the losing side, the rookie Tragic Bronson made his first start due to injuries to Asor Thompson and Jaden Ivey. In his starting debut, the flashing playmaker scores 10 points and gets 12 assists in 34 minutes, both being career highs. The Pistons are a young up-and-coming team, and if Bronson ends up being worth the first-round selection, it's only more star power to Detroit's backcourt. Now time for a team we haven't talked about. Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies visit the Atlanta Hawks with no Trae Young. The Hawks started the year off hot, at one point managing the first seed in the East, but after Trae Young suffered a broken right hand which will sideline him for 4 to 6 weeks, the Hawks are simply looking to stay afloat. But the Grizzlies are looking to jump up the standings, currently sitting as the 4th seed with a 17-9 record. Ja Morant showed out versus the Hawks to lead his team to their 18th victory. Morant finished the game with 36 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. DeJounte Murray is a great defender, but even he couldn't keep up with Morant. The Grizzlies jump up to the 3rd seed, while Atlanta is slowly losing their 2nd seed ranking. And lastly, the 20-9 Nuggets take on the 5-22 Los Angeles Lakers. Without LeBron, the Lakers are a wasteland, even though they have a very good team on paper. Denver has been somewhat slow to start the year, but they've won 5 straight games now, including this one, led by their franchise superstar Nikola Jokic. Jokic puts up 31 points, 17 rebounds, and 11 assists in just 33 minutes. Anthony Davis has been one of the most disappointing players this year, and one of the most disappointing players in recent memory, while Jokic and the Nuggets continue to try to win their 2nd NBA championship. And that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to make a player for the next draft, the Discord link is in the description and you can create a player there. And without further ado, I will see y'all guys next time. Peace.